The 360 camera market has long been dominated by Insta360, with not only their fantastic lineup of cameras, the most recent being the X5, but also the software platform that is a must for editing 360 footage. But now DJI enter the field with a camera that certainly looks impressive when you consider the spec sheet, the DJI OSMO 360. DJI have dominated the drone market and place very highly in the action camera market too, so naturally expectations are high with their first entry into the 360 segment. Upon first glance then, the OSMO 360 resembles a cross between a GoPro Max and an Insta360 X5. It has the squat, square shape of the former and the control layout and centrally located fisheye lens of the latter. Like both, it's constructed from robust dark grey plastic with its lenses bulging outwards on either side. There's a 2-inch 16:9 touchscreen on one side with a landscape layout rather than the portrait on the X5, plus 3 physical controls. A power button on the side, which can also be tapped to toggle between shooting modes, a shutter button, and a third button that flips between the 2 camera views on the screen. Otherwise, there are also 2 openable flaps on the device, one covering the USB-C port used for charging and data transfer, and the other protecting the removable battery and a micro SD card slot. Talking of the battery, the OSMO 360 uses the same 1950 mAh OSMO Extreme Battery Plus that was launched with the DJI Action 5. Practicality-wise, that's great news for people who own both cameras, and while you'll get around 90 minutes using max settings from a full charge, it is noticeably smaller than the 2400 mAh capacity batteries that come with the Insta360 X5 and offer up to 185 minutes of use. When it comes to audio, there are 4 built-in mics dotted around the camera to pick up audio from all directions, although as with all other cameras, to get the best audio you'll generally want to use an external microphone, and DJI creates some excellent external solutions already, so the options are there and ready to connect. Finally, at the base is DJI's now familiar one-way magnetic quick release connector with a screw thread hole in the middle as an alternative means of attaching accessories. You'll need to use accessories a lot too. As with any 360 camera, the selfie stick, which is made invisible when straight, is fundamental to getting the best of the 360-degree lens system. While the OSMO 360 is IP68 rated, waterproof to a depth of 10 meters, DJI cautions that due to the convex optics, underwater shooting may result in image distortion and stitching errors, and thus doesn't recommend it. It's interesting that DJI doesn't have confidence in its underwater capabilities because the Insta360 X5 has the same convex lenses and its manufacturer encourages sub-aqua shooting. Also on the durability front, DJI doesn't offer the same user-replaceable lenses as the Insta360 X5, which is a real shame. The way in which the 360 camera lenses extend out of the body mean they're easy to scratch, and Insta360's efforts in this area have been really impressive, so it's back to using optional lens protector kits instead if needed. In operation though, the OSMO 360 is quite snappy and responsive. The processor is enough to make the menus prompt and quick to navigate from the OLED touchscreen, and it'll be very familiar to anyone who has already used the DJI Osmo Action or Osmo Pocket cameras. You'll be using the camera with all the normal swiping and tapping gestures we've become accustomed to. Menu layout and navigation is good, no issues there at all. Of course, the OSMO 360 works with the existing DJI Mimo mobile app too, which will pair your phone with the camera and allow you to remotely operate it, download and apply firmware updates, and browse your photos and videos. So DJI has kitted out the OSMO 360 with a pair of square 1/1.1 inch sensors, which it claims outperform rivals due to the large pixel size of 2.4. That's roughly twice the size of the pixels used by the X5. The sensor's square shape, DJI says, is a key factor because none of the surface area is wasted. Other 360 cameras built around rectangular sensors use only the central portions of them, but the Osmo 360 makes use of every bit, allowing it to have those larger pixels and deliver much better image quality. At least that's the idea. The Osmo 360 supports 360-degree video capture at up to 8K 50 frames per second. The single lens captures at up to 5K 60 as well as photos up to 120 megapixels. It also supports 10-bit color and gives users the option to shoot in a flat D-Log-M profile for more scope in post-production color grading. As a result, the image quality is generally excellent for a 360 camera. At the default settings and shooting in bright daylight, 360 videos are sharp and rich with bright colors. There's clearly some enhancement going on though, resulting in some noticeable over-sharpening and overly intense colors at times, but the settings available give users plenty of scope to adjust results to their personal taste. The lenses deal relatively well with flare, automatic selfie stick removal is effective, and the image stabilization and horizon leveling seem nigh on perfect. All the high quality stuff we expect from any DJI release nowadays. They certainly don't disappoint here. There are 4 built-in microphones on the camera of course, and audio quality is impressive in good conditions. I found that voices and environmental sounds were captured clearly. As with most built-in camera mics however, it does pick up wind noise very easily, which can disrupt the clarity. Perhaps the highlight of the Osmo 360's specialist video modes is Super Night. Available with 360 capture only, is designed to offer high sensitivity, high quality, low light recording indoors or at night. Although while I was hoping those huge sensor pixels would give the Osmo 360 an edge over the X5 after dark, my test footage looked fairly similar there too. Overall though, I'm highly impressed, but saying that, if you've recently bought an Insta360 X5, I don't see anything here that should cause you to regret your purchase. There's very little between the two cameras when it comes to standard 360 video, despite DJI's claims about the Osmo 360's pixel size and sensor design greatly boosting quality. Hardware is only part of the package with 360 cameras though, and they need a strong software platform to manipulate and produce usable video footage. So much like the Insta360 app, while the DJI Mimo app has an AI-assisted auto editor, it's not quite as impressive, at least not at this time. Don't get me wrong, it's a good app overall, especially for a first attempt at manipulating 360 footage, just not as polished as Insta360's at this time. As well as editing on your phone then, DJI provides a tool for keyframe editing on your computer called DJI Studio. As a regular user of Final Cut Pro, I found the styling pretty familiar, making it possible to create edited videos, add music from a selection, and of course add keyframes, with more or less the same features found in the Mimo app, but a lot more space to explore them. You can still choose of course to reframe the video to any dimension you want. 360 can be 16:9 or 9:16 or even 1:1, very useful for social creators. I couldn't find a lot of AI support, but subject tracking is available, if a little irritating to apply. Nevertheless, the entire creation process is relatively painless, has a lot of options, and is able to export in a range of formats, retaining the 10-bit color if you want to take into another editing tool. Again, not as polished and feature-rich as the Insta360 Studio, but certainly a solid effort. All in all then, DJI are clearly very conscious of the need to make an impact against Insta360's established products, as everything about this device impresses, and the software is up to scratch too. There are a few niggles for sure, but DJI also have a reputation for continuing to deliver updates, so I wouldn't be very worried about minor irritations. So while DJI has delivered a strong rival to the excellent Insta360 X5, it's not an outright conqueror. If you already own the X5, there are few reasons to swap it for an Osmo 360. I do prefer the candy bar-like design of the Insta360 to be fair, and while the Osmo 360 is IP68 rated and pretty tough, it's not as adventure ready as the X5, and it's easy to replace lenses. If you scratch a lens here, you'll need to send in for service and wait for the lens to be replaced for you. If, on the other hand, you're already invested into the DJI OSMO ecosystem, then the Osmo 360 is a fantastic step into the world of 360 video capture. DJI really went all out here and produced a system that's sure to have raised some eyebrows in the Insta360 camp. A really solid contender that doesn't disappoint.